Huawei had quite a short run in the smartphone industry, but during that time, they created some absolute legends. The P20 didn't get as much limelight as the P20 Pro or the Mate 20, but it's definitely one of their greatest hits, and today we're going to find out why. Starting with the hardware for the black model, it's polished and sleek, but nothing extraordinary. On the front, you've got a notched display and a fingerprint scanner, which is a bit too far down for my liking, but it's fast and accurate. You've got face scanning as well, which is fast enough in most situations, but struggles with low light. On the back, you've got a rather small camera module and a simple glass finish, which is perfect for those who don't want something too flashy. The sides have a matte finish that's a bit slippery sometimes, and the classic red accent on the power button. A nice little touch that Huawei puts on most of their flagships. It's got some weight to it, and I love that. Moving on to the display, it's a 5.8-inch Full HD Plus LCD panel with 429 pixels per inch, which is standard for most flagships. I'm currently binging Grey's Anatomy. Bailey and Burke are the best. I will defend their names to the great... Sorry. Content is bright and very clear. They've absolutely nailed the contrast here, which I didn't expect from an LCD panel. I prefer watching TV shows on this than an OLED display. In pursuit of higher saturation and more dramatic contrast, OLED screens often oversaturate the colors and blow out the highlights in video content such as TV shows, which makes an LCD the better pick for this kind of viewing. Switching to the main UI, the screen is pleasingly vibrant and it does justice to the many colourful wallpapers that Huawei has to offer. If you like dark themes on your phone, when you look closely you may find an issue with extreme viewing angles, but to the untrained eye it's just as good as any other screen. I'd like to point out that when taking and viewing pictures on this phone, they're going to look slightly less saturated on this phone than on others, something to keep in mind when posting pictures on social media. Under the hood, it's powered by Huawei's own Kirin 970 chipset with 4 or 6 GB of RAM, which means it's just a tad slower than its competitors such as the Galaxy S9. During daily tasks, it's just as fast as any other phone out there. Multitasking is an absolute breeze, and there's no sign of lag. It's only when you play Wii games in Full HD that the processor gives in. But again, that's pushing the phone to the very limit. Photography, on the other hand, is the P20's stomping grounds. On board, we have a dual camera setup. Both are normal wide lenses, one rated at 12 megapixels and the other at 20. Normal shots have pretty high dynamic range and are very well saturated. And because of the f1.6 aperture on one of the lenses, you can get quite dramatic foreground and background blur without using portrait mode. Turning on portrait mode and the good news continues. The subject is very well separated and you have a lot of control over how much blur you want in your picture. It gets even better once you turn off the light. The night mode offers unbelievable amounts of detail even with minimal light, and the saturation is on point. Colors are punchy and more importantly the image is very well exposed. We've got plenty of detail from both the city lights and the sky. On top of that, you can also capture trails from cars, indoor lights, and if that's not enough, you can even capture the stars above with just as much ease. Finally, we get to the software, which is surprisingly new. It's got the new Android 10 update running EMUI 10, which is a lot cleaner than the last generation. More importantly, it comes with all the Google Play services and will continue to have access to the Play Store for a long time. The notification panel has a slightly more transparent theme, which I prefer. The icons are still a bit too big and square for my taste, but overall it's a very smooth experience. However, what I really love are the not so obvious accessibility and user experience features. For accessibility, you've got options like knuckle gestures to take screenshots, start screen recording, and multitasking. Then you've got the motion control features to mute your calls and alarms. Moving on to the user experience features such as digital balance, which allows you to monitor and control how much time you spend on your phone. An app twin allows you to use multiple accounts on one app. A digital safe is there to encrypt any media you may not want available if your phone gets into the wrong hands. And you even get an app lock to prevent others from mucking about on private apps when giving them your phone. A lot of companies like to add extras that you're really not going to use, but in this case, each one of them can make a great difference to your daily user experience. The main purpose of a smartphone is to make your life with technology a lot easier, and this phone does exactly that. So you can pick up one of these in good condition for about £150. But should you? If you have an even older phone and you'd like a nice little upgrade in all areas, then do give this a thought. But if you're a budding photographer on a budget and you want a user experience like no other, then definitely consider it. So that's all for today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay tuned for more. For now, that's T.I.A. out, and I'll see you later.